Google is doing it again. The company has gotten so aggressive with its launch cycles that this is the second year in a row that we get a separate Android show just before Google I/O, which, yes, means there was a lot announced for Android alone, and also that there will be a lot more next week at I/O, which, by the way, I will be covering live. For now, I'm Jaime Rivera, and it's time for my top 4 hits and misses for this Android show 2026, which I'll admit was more than even I was expecting. What Google just did with Android actually sounds kind of genius. The company is evolving its own operating system to what it calls as an intelligence system, and which I'm gonna call a definite hit and also a slight miss. See, the premise is that while devices have become more intelligent, we're the ones doing the messy, heavy lifting of digging through email, finding images, jumping through applications, which, yeah, we constantly have to do. Google's new Gemini Intelligence has the goal of automating a lot of this, and we saw it early on with Gemini's agentic features on the Galaxy S26 series launch earlier this year. Material 3 Expressive is evolving its UI for this particular use case in order to keep you updated on the status of your task while it's working in the background. If you don't have the app on your phone, no worries. There's actually Chrome automation, which we saw announced earlier in the desktop, now coming to the phone. If you're planning a trip, looking for parking within, want to purchase tickets, you can ask Gemini to do it, and like in the case of the previews that we've seen earlier, it won't purchase anything until you confirm the prompt. One standout feature is also smart form filling, which is an evolution to autofill and which I've been waiting for. For example, if you need to enter passport details into a document, Gemini can automatically pull that information from a photo of your passport saved on your phone and fill out the information for you. Additionally, there is a new Rambler feature in Gboard, which is making voice typing far more forgiving. You no longer have to worry about getting every single word perfect when you're talking to your phone, and it even works seamlessly for people who speak multiple languages, which, yeah, totally includes me all the time. Looking ahead, the system is also developing deep personalization tools through a new generative UI feature. This will allow users to build their own custom widgets on the fly, like asking the device to create a specific widget that displays 3 new recipes once a week. These custom widgets are also designed to work across multiple devices in case you need one that's more useful on your Pixel Watch. Now, yeah, what's the catch? Well, first, a lot of these intelligence features won't be available until the summer, and second is that there is a lot of fragmentation, or there seems to be. See, it starts with Samsung Galaxy and Pixel devices, so yeah, I'm wondering when it'll reach other devices, as the agentic features from back in February still haven't reached devices like Oppo, which have hardware that's just as powerful. I'm curious to know what you think about all this in the comments. Android 17 follows on the second thing Google mentioned to be focused on at the Android show, which the company calls elevating the Android experience, and which I'm going to call a hit and a slight miss. Android 17 has been in beta since, February, and what we got to see today goes beyond just the technical stuff most of you won't care about as much as how your phone interacts with applications. Android hasn't really had the best reputation for how it works with, say, social media apps. Well, the company just partnered with Meta to address a lot of this. This means in applications like Instagram, Android devices will now natively get Ultra HDR capture and playback, smooth built-in video stabilization, and even night mode. Google claims that blind tests showed Android results performed better than iOS. They call it a leading competitor, which you can totally bet I'm gonna try in the real world. Best of all, we finally get Instagram to adapt better to Android tablets, which I hope also means foldables. Google is also bringing new enhancements for creators to spare you from jumping through applications to get a quick reel done. Additionally, the Instagram Edits app is also being enhanced specifically for Android phones, adding a Smart Enhance tool that improves the look of any photo, even older ones, and a sound separation feature that lets you boost the specific audio you actually want to hear. Thing is, we've heard these partnerships with Meta for years now, and nobody has ever really gotten it right, so we hope this is finally the case. Google also updated a crazy 4,000 emojis to look more refined than we'll start rolling out later this year, beginning with Pixel devices on Gboard, Gmail, and YouTube, and obviously expanding later, hopefully. Now, beyond creative tools, Android 17 is also adding smart wellness and connectivity updates. Recognizing that smart app time limits and snoozes are often too easy to bypass, the company is launching a new pause point feature, which is designed to help curb doom scrolling. It forces a 10-second pause before opening a distracting application, giving you a brief moment to ask yourself if you really need to jump into it. And by the way, you can tailor this to be even more complicated if you want. On the connectivity front, we've seen QuickShare now support AirDrop, but Google just announced it's expanding to other devices, but this right here is another miss part. Notice you kind of need a flagship to get this to work. I mean, Google claims WhatsApp as an alternative if your device doesn't support it, but, well, this has existed forever and the quality isn't really amazing. Again, more fragmentation. Let me know if you like what you see in the comments. Google just took the phrase of beyond the phone to a different level with the recent updates to Android Auto, which I'm going to call a hit. And listen, I've heard debates whether Android Auto is better than CarPlay or vice versa, but I think the next generation changes that Google is bring a couple of interesting changes to consider. First of all, it features a highly adaptable design that's tailored to fit perfectly on any car's unique screen size and shape. This update actually brings more of your phone's look and feel to the car with whatever fonts you've chosen, wallpapers, and major updates to a smarter idea to bring widgets to the car, allowing drivers to choose exactly what information they want to see at a glance, such as a quick smart home controls to easily open the garage door, which I find kind of useful. The system also includes the new immersive navigation experience we saw recently in preview, which I consider to be crazy intuitive in understanding certain roads you've never been to. Obviously, the bigger your screen, the better for this. Now, when you're parked and waiting, Android Auto plans to keep you entertained. You can now watch YouTube videos, for example, or whatever app is supported in crisp HD up to 60 frames per second, though, yeah, that depends on your car being supported. Even better, if you're watching a video podcast, for example, the system will seamlessly transition it into an audio-only format as soon as you start driving again. Now, beyond the visual upgrades, Android Auto is getting significantly smarter with the integration of Gemini Intelligence. If your connected smartphone supports it, those advanced capabilities will seamlessly carry over to your car's display. And then for vehicles that come with Google built in, the system offers incredibly helpful new tools. Drivers can ask the AI to identify what a specific warning icon on the dashboard means. And heck, you can even check if an item of a certain size will physically fit into the trunk of your car, as Gemini understands the context of the car you're driving. Also, you can utilize a new auto lane guidance feature for smoother, safer driving. Let me know if you like all these changes in the comments, because I know I do. Google definitely left the best for last at its Android Show 2026, and as a part of their focus on going beyond the phone with Android, the company has just introduced a new category of laptops called Google Books. And yeah, if you're worried that this is just being an overglorified Android tablet with a keyboard, it's not. See, instead of the previous approach of Chrome OS sort of running Android applications or Android tablets themselves, this is actually a merger between the best of Android and all of its current updates with the power of a real Chrome browser, all built around the changes coming to Gemini Intelligence. Also, that whole built around Gemini doesn't just mean that you can call on it. Instead, Google is pretty much reimagining how a laptop works in things as basic as the mouse pointer. This new device completely changes how you interact with your screen by introducing a smart magic pointer cursor. With just the simple wiggle, the new cursor comes alive to offer helpful real-time context about whatever you're hovering over. It could be something as simple as an email, but because this smart tool is fully multimodal, you can use it to instantly visualize how different images would look merged together. For example, if you are browsing the web, you can use the pointer to easily really see how a brand new piece of furniture would fit into the picture of your actual living room, but all without the need of moving around applications and then throwing a prompt. The Googlebook also brings deep personalization to your desktop with the Create My Widget feature. This allows you to build a custom widget on the fly, such as a dedicated tracker for an upcoming trip that keeps all your important travel details in one place. Additionally, a new quick access tool seamlessly bridges the gap between your laptop and your smartphone. You can easily browse and open files on your phone directly from your Googlebook and even control your phone's application right on your laptop screen instead of having to launch a separate detached software environment. And yes, I know this is not new, but the implementation on other Android devices has never been that amazing. Last but not least, Google claims that its new Googlebooks will be built with premium materials. And yeah, there's that rainbow pixel light that's been recently rumored to be on future Pixel smartphones, but which the company is calling the Glow Bar. This new generation of laptops is launching with the support of multiple hardware partners to offer high-end unified computing experiences, though yeah, we don't have price points, chip manufacturer data. There's still a lot left to uncover. So in today's question, let me know, what was your favorite announcement on today's Android show? Because in my case, it's a mix between Gemini Intelligence and Google Books. I am actually curious as to how Google plans to reinvent devices that we depend on every single day. I'm curious to know what you liked most in the comments. Friends, thank you so much for joining on this new episode of Hits and Misses. Please like, subscribe, and join the conversation in the comments, as I'm sure you've seen me try to respond to as many as I can. Also, follow me on social media as more behind-the-scenes work continues to happen there. Also, by the way, for those of you wondering about our Technically There podcast with Josh, it's coming back very soon, so stay tuned for that as well. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.